What do you think of the trade for Jordan Willis? Had you ever heard of Jordan Willis? Was it a good move or was it a weak move? Who's up first, Nick?
Yep. I don't mind a move for Jordan Willis. He is a very athletic guy that it just hasn't translated to the NFL level. He was, the Big 10 player of the year, Big 12 player of the year, defensive player of the year, Big 12. He has a lot of upside, but to be completely honest, I'm more excited about getting that 7th round draft pick in this year's draft than I actually am to see what Jordan Willis can do on the football field. Like, you have Deion Jordan. You've already invested or signed a player that is extremely athletic. That's what he is as a pass rusher, which is just like Jordan Willis. So I don't really think Jordan Willis is going to bring a whole lot to the table. He just has a lot of upside, and maybe he'll benefit from playing next to other really good defensive linemen. But Jose already talked about it. Marcus Golden, that was the guy that was so gung-ho about the 49ers signing this offseason. He's traded for a 6th round pick. He would be the perfect replacement for D Ford if this team decides to move on, which they should move on from Ford next year. And they completely whiffed on that opportunity. So it's whatever. Jordan Willis, whoop-de-doo. That's where I stand with it.
It's whatever. Jordan Willis, whoop-de-doo. The comment of the day. Maverick, what's up?
Is that what you titled this stream?
Yeah, it's whatever, whoop-de-doo. Yeah.
Jordan Willis, it's whatever, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
I think he's worth a flyer. It's not like he was brought in to go be Marcus Golden. I think Marcus Golden is definitely the better player, but I think he's brought in to be depth, maybe be on next year, see if you can figure it out. I know he played a lot on rundowns in the pros, and he was a pretty good pass rusher in the Big 12, where the Big 12 has horrible defense. And I think he can be a decent depth piece. I'm not saying he'll ever start, but it's similar to kind of what Deion Jordan was going to be on this team before they brought in, or before Nick Bosa got injured and Solomon Thomas got injured, is a depth piece. See if you can unlock something he wasn't shown before. And worst case, you cut him after the year and you didn't really lose anything.
Who the hell is he? I mean, I see that Grant's like, you want to get the Jordan Willis news? I'm like, who? What? Patrick Willis? You spelled that wrong? I was like, I gotta look up his stats. I'm like, okay, 47 tackles or whatever. I'm like, why'd they make this trade? And I was like, outside linebackers. Like, wait, does he play like an edge stand up, like 3-4 type? And I was like, okay, that's probably why they did it, because they probably want to move Eric Armstead inside. So I guess it's fine. I mean, you can't really, hate on it or nothing, aside from the fact that now Marcus Golden was available. Like, why didn't you get him? Because at least you still would have had the benefit of kicking Armstead inside, and you would have at least had some inclination. You would have had productivity there. Versus now Willis, you're just saying, hey, Kasaric, here's another challenge for you, even though you have Kinlaw inside and other players that you got to work on. So it just wasn't that. Oh God, did he really just sign with the Bucs? I told you, I called it. He was gonna sign with the Bucs, man.
That's too bad. Oh well. Tony, you're up.
I like the move a lot, actually. I think it was a savvy move by Lynch, and it's got nothing to do with the player. So I think Nick touched on it. That 7th round pick next year. So the 49ers have, by my count, 27 unrestricted free agents next year. Okay? Mm-hmm. This 7th round pick, don't be surprised if that 7th round pick is starting. I mean, they're up against the cap. They've got 27 undrafted free agents, and I think like 35 or 37 free agents in general, restricted free agents, et cetera. You see teams in the draft do it all the time. During the draft, they trade for a pick that year and then 1 round later the next year, and they're happy to do it in the middle of the draft. I think there's foresight on the 49ers part, and they're happy. They would trade those 2 draft picks right now. Don't forget, it's the Jets. Their pick in the 7th round is really a late 6th round pick, isn't it? And I think the 49ers think that they're going to be winning the next couple of years. And so I know it sounds crazy that you'd trade a 6 for a 7, but I think the 49ers would be happy to trade those 2 draft picks, and then the player is just the cherry on top.
I was going to blast the trade. I didn't like it at all, but I hadn't considered anything that Tony just said, and he just makes a great point. So I'm going to defer to Tony. To me, I was looking at it as, it's a weak move because you're kind of like straddling the fence of, are we buying or selling? We're not really doing either. But I like the angle of getting the pick. That's something I hadn't considered, and it's something they need. So Tony wins this round.